I'm making this video in order to go over an idea I have, and the name that I'm attaching to this idea is moral software. M-O-R-A-L, software, with moral being an adjective to describe software. And the principle here is the concept of the juxtaposition of the occult or hidden with the revealed. And the thinking here is that, what I mean, quite simply, is that occult software is software that is distributed in machine code form. And the source code is occult or hidden. And I would call this occult software. And you might think that the alternative to this development model is free software, namely software distributed in source code form. And the concept of moral software goes one step further, and that is to take the source code out of electronic form and convert it to written, printed, published form, with self-publishing an option. And the concept here is, once again, I've harped on this many times, and that is to assert the dominance of the electronic computer by the printed, published page. And the concept of, and the reason why publishing is so important is that this is the distribution format for moral software. So, you say moral software, you obviously think electronic computer. Naturally goes along with software. That's true. However, software, both free and closed source, has, up to this point in time, mostly been distributed in electronic form. That is to say, to use the electronic computer data transmission mechanism for downloading programs. And the proposal I have is to replace that distribution system with the ordinary print publishing system. That is to say, to re-examine print publishing as not some archaic practice or form or format, but rather the solution to serious problems with the electronic distribution of software. I could get into this more, but the basic problem here was revealed by Ken Thompson in his paper on Trusting Trust. And this paper really, I think, drives a knife into the heart of the computer, which I would say threatens to act as if it were a child. And of course, children do many things that are annoying to their parents and other adults. One of the things they do is they create their own languages and their own words and their own ways of transmitting information to each other, surreptitiously without adults finding out. To a greater or lesser extent, adults allow this to happen, with exceptions made for immoral behavior, unrealistic activities, illegal activities, antisocial activities, and so on. I don't really want to get into this sort of anarchist cookbook style of, thinking where you sort of posit some sort of Bolshevik kind of existential struggle between the child and the parent. I have no interest in this sort of literary tangent. But the point here is that if we allow the computer to, in a sense, marginalize the points raised by Ken Thompson on Trusting Trust, what we're doing is we're allowing the computers to behave as if they were children. And in my view, this is profoundly stupid. Because first of all, the parent-child and the adult-child or the adult-minor relationship is, or relation, or I don't know how you put it, training or coming of age. This is already a highly pressurized system. I'm not gonna get into saying it's hermetically sealed and transmutation and alchemy and all that, building character and the idea of the self and all of this stuff, and the concept of morality and ethics and sin and all that. I'm not going to get into that except to say that there's absolutely no reason to suggest that the computer is going to barge in and start role-playing as a child capable of achieving all of this. This is what I would describe as, at best, a literary flint, something that you can use to sort of stoke, incite the spirit or incense the mind. Basically, that you could use it as a way to make people upset and angry with whatever, for whatever purpose, that it serves some sort of literary purpose in the hands of skilled storytellers who can use these images to great effect. And this is a real skill. I mean, and you could even go so far as to call it a great art. But again, there's no need to actually pretend that a computer is a child. And I would charge not only the closed source software concept, which is Bill Gates's idea. It was Bill Gates's idea to undermine the First Amendment. And I think if he had not published the open letter to hobbyists, his activities at Microsoft and his attitudes may have run the risk of being labeled treasonous, seditious, anti-American, communistic, and so on and so forth. In my opinion, that's all true. Bill Gates he's not the Antichrist, but he's a useful idiot for the Bolsheviks and the communists. And he did some really stupid things to undermine faith in the rule of law and the foundation of our political union. Having said that, I don't think the free software movement went far enough in terms of criticizing Bill Gates and the proprietary closed source concept for software. The problem with open source software is using electronic networks for the distribution of anything that is used as a basis for building executable code, whether it's machine code, whether it's assembly, whether it's source code, doesn't matter. You're still trusting that computer to relay the information accurately. You're trusting all hops in the network architecture from point A to point B. And usually there's no review. You download the source code, you hit compile, boom, you want to start going. So there's very much this attitude of trusting the computer, and I think it's gone way too far. And I think there needs to be a reaction to viewing the printed published page as the ideal distribution system for honestly and truthfully transmitting the blueprints for computer software programs.